Greetings, galactic angelics of the golden age awakening. With these new earth energies flowing in, we're receiving many heart-opening activations, crown activations, and many experiencing deep soul cleansing. The angelic etheric wings are fully manifest. We'll talk about these at the end of the transmissions today with several stories. Now that we've entered beyond the twilight zone, the doorway between worlds is fully open, all portals fully activated. The most powerful portal being that of the heart center, connected to the pure love and light of Creator Source. Today we had several higher frequency activations which showed up on the Schumann charts as a 22 Hertz, 31 Hertz, and 48 gamma wave activations. We see this as a bright white transmission on the Schumann charts. They didn't go all the way through. This looks like the crown, which is connected also to the crown of the Ring of Fire, with these activations coming through these earthquakes. The southern part of Alaska, with that 7.8 earlier this week, and then multiple waves of activations following this. We've had swarms all day again today in that Aleutian Islands, the Aleutian Trench. We are really taking on some higher energetics now through these massive activation energies, preparing our sacred vessel for this great leap of consciousness, this quantum leap, what many are calling the Great Awakening, or the event. Rapture goes by many names, doesn't matter what you call it. This great shift is from the false to the true, from the old to the new, from the separation into unity, and from the suffering into bliss for all humanity. We had these multiple twin pairs of quakes throughout the Ring of Fire today. There was a 4.1 in Mexico, 1594, and a 5.5 at 1595. Then we had a 3.3 in California at 38,118, and a 3.7 at 36,117. That was in Lone Pine, California. Then up in Alaska, we had a 3.8 at 55,158, and a 3.0 at 55,159.599, 59.2 kilometers from Sand Point. So multiple 5959 or 5.5 energies. Then again today, multiple quakes in the sacred portal of Tibet, 4.5 at 33, latitude 86, longitude 339 UTC. That's in between the sacred mountains of Kunlun and the Himalayan. Then again in South America, we had a pair of 4.5 at 16, latitude 73, longitude in the sacred Andes Mountains. And also in the Andes, a 4.1 at 2069, which was in Chile, South America. And more swarms of quakes up in the Alaska all day today. Then another earthquake where the three sacred mountains come together. An area called Hindu Kush in Afghanistan, where the Tian Shan, Kunlun, and Himalayan mountains merge into this trinity, 3569. Then we had another pair in Tibet. This is with that twin flame energy, the yin, the yang. We had a 4.4, 44 code at 3087, a 4.9 at 3094. So this is on the same latitude, separate longitude, which is connected to this sacred portal of the Himalayan mountains. Japan also had a 4.3 at 35.703 latitude, 138.686 longitude, 171 kilometers depth. So we have the 1771 code and the 73, heaven on earth. And of course we had more today with the Atlantean energies of 5.1 in Cuba, 19 latitude, 78 longitude. So we have both the Lemurian and the Atlantean energies coming together, symbolized also with the north and the south, the great eagle flying with the condor, divine masculine, divine feminine coming together to bring balance and harmony back to this realm, like in the times of Eden, but in a conscious state. The goddess is arising. We'll start today's first transmission from Divine Sister of the Light, Jennifer Crocart. Divine Mother, the light night of the soul, my beloved children, many of you are awakening to the light night of the soul. You have all heard of the dark night of the soul, where you face the agony and pain of your wounds and your fears, and all that you have repressed and hidden from your conscious mind. It is a moment when the pathway forward in life may be very unclear and you may feel paralyzed, unsure of which direction to go in. It is a pivotal point in your evolutionary progress, entering into the dark night of the soul, as is emerging from it. When emerging from the dark night of the soul, which is so much longer than one night, you feel clearer, freer, lighter. You have greater confidence in who you are, how you wish to be in your world, and how you want to turn up. You have healed and released so much baggage that you travel freely, and the path, however stony, is completely doable. You must first empty a jug of dirty water before you can fill it with pure water. The light night of the soul is a much newer phenomenon among my children. The light night of the soul is when you are awakened, frequently very suddenly and abruptly, to the magnitude of who you are, skills, talents, abilities, and knowingness that you have never experienced before suddenly flow through you like never before. Energy flows, you're on a high. Yet you feel alone, isolated, out of step with those around you and who you used to be. This, my dear children, is the light night of the soul. In the dark night of the soul, you face all the shadow that you have disavowed or disowned. In the light night of the soul, you face the divinity you have disowned. Both are periods of night symbolically, for they are about embracing what has been in the shadows, hidden, repressed, or ignored. In both experiences, you are dislocated from those around you, and even more painfully, from who you thought you were. It can feel like a rupture in your identity, but actually in both cases is an expansion into the next, greatest, highest version of yourself. So how to navigate this new stage, this new leveling up and this new expansion? I wish to suggest that you begin by surrendering your fears to me. It may be as simple as, Mum, I'm terrified. I don't know why I have these new abilities, how I'm meant to use them, and I hate how uncomfortable they make me feel. Help me feel safe. Help me feel the flow of love. Help me surrender my fears to you in the knowing that you will show me how this new journey will evolve every tiny step of the way. I am you, and you are me. We will talk more about this in the future, but for now, melt into acceptance, as and where you can, trusting that your blessed life is unfolding in absolutely perfect alignment with your soul's plan. From jennifercrocart.blogspot.com. Today from Divine Sister of the Light, Maureen Moss. A life-changing triple header this weekend. July 25th, Day Out of Time. The Day Out of Time realigns the 13-moon calendar to the solar year and realigns humanity into a renewed appreciation for their inherent divinity. This is the day where we can truly tap into the multidimensional energy and expand in higher levels of consciousness. When our perception of linear time is dissolved and enter the void space, we allow ourselves to go to 0 point, ready to be birthed into a new cycle the following day. It is a good day to stay quiet and self-aware. July 26th, the Galactic New Year. As we celebrate the Galactic New Year, we also celebrate a new phase, a new cycle that this planet has never experienced. We are bridging the etheric and the physical realms. Set your heartfelt intentions for yourself, humanity, and this planet. July 26th, the Lionsgate portal opens, and we prepare to step into the Lion's Gate on the 8-8 guarded by the lions of yesterday and the lions of tomorrow. We enter only if leaving behind the lifetimes of pain, fear, attachments, and traumas that saturated our minds, emotions, bodies, outcomes, in this worldly plane. It is a frequency-specific gateway. Marzan of the Syrian High Council has said, the Lion's Gate this year is the gate through which freedom becomes highly active when one is neutralized and complete with what was, and aligned in their hearts with trust, truth, and an unerring commitment to freedom. Throughout these upcoming days, do your utmost to stay in balance or bring yourself back into balance, if need be, by putting one hand, palm over your heart, and breathing love into its center. Make every moment count to know, think, and express as your true self deeply. Focus on releasing what need be and anchor into the sacred heart, the truest, harmonized, most loving, authentic you. With great love and deep respect, Maureen. From MaureenMoss.com. Today from Here in the Moon Astrology, Friday, July 24th, 2020. From August to December, the timeline is going to be remarkable. We are in the eye of the storm, passing through the eye of the needle, from what was to what is to become. All the ghosts of the past are catching up with us. We are now in the amplified second half of this sacred wild ride of 2020, and what used to be hidden in the ethers is going to be played out in the real world. From Here in the Moon Astrology.co.uk, and today from Isis Channelings, the golden light of the wisdom or the blue light of the wisdom in action. Which are you? Today, 24th of July, marks the last day of the 13-moon Mayan galactic calendar. The new year will begin on the 26th of July, which is also the heliacal rising of Sirius, when the Nile floods her banks, ushering in the ancient Egyptian New Year. And just like the overflooding of the banks of the Nile symbolizes the washing away of the old, dead, decaying, to be replaced with new fertile soil for new growth, fertility, and abundance, we too experience these waves of purification and new downloads of codes for new spirals of growth into mastery and ascension. For purification, purging, and upgrades go hand in hand. How will you download new ascension light codes if you first don't clean up space? By releasing the old that no longer serves. Purification and upgrades is the core of Sirius season, Leo season, Lionsgate. Super intense and super worth it. For this deep purification and healing to be initiated, first that which needs to be healed, cleared, and released is shown to us clearly, so that we may engage with it, see why it no longer serves us, and choose the appropriate attitude, attribute, action, response in its place. This usually happens via triggers, via other actions, but remember, it's not about the actions of others, but what it triggers in you that is your clue to unraveling old patterns, and have the courage to align with new beliefs and patterns that are aligned with divine truth and integrity and courage of your convictions. Remember, we have extra divine guidance at this time, because we are also in the morning star phase of Venus at the first gate of authority, crown chakra, a period of dismantling all thought processes, beliefs, patterns that keep us from aligning with our highest divine soul light. What are the triggers coming up for you? What are they showing you? Where are you being directed to place your attention? Pay attention. Leo season began with Mary Magdalene feast day, a day to celebrate the resurrection of empowerment and sovereignty from the stranglehold of patriarchy, where power and control and entitlement belong to one gender, one color, one race. What patriarchal attributes, shadow attributes are you still holding on to? Shadow masculine, attitudes of entitlement, superiority, control, power, and shadow feminine, envy, jealousy, undermining authority, backstabbing. We are on the cusp of birthing a new world and being assisted in the same by the opening of the floodgates of the mother aspect of new creation based on love and acceptance. On solstice June 22, 2020, and the continued support by the present Venus shamanic cycle led by the Gemini metagoddess Ishel, Iris, Athena, the first two deeply associated with the rainbow. The rainbow, the bridge to our divinity. The rainbow aspect that inherently talks about the honors and values, all colors, race, genders, the prophecy of the rainbow warriors, the very aspect that has to be birthed on Gaia if we wish to ascend, the very aspect that we need to support via our thought processes, words, and actions, for this is the age of action, of creation, simply being wisdom keepers in an etheric space, dissociated from the 3D realities. Spiritual bypassing is of no use unless one brings this wisdom into concrete action to establish and anchor divine truths that work beyond narrow self-serving agendas to support divine truths of equality, kindness, compassion, tolerance, inclusion, and grace. It is indeed the difference between the golden light of wisdom, teacher, guru, and the blue light, blue ray, Sirius, of the teachers, masters, avatars, who channeled their wisdom into action for new creation via the Syrian avatars, Lord Shiva, Isis, Thoth, the later who will be walking through the gates of time this Lion's Gate season, bringing us light codes of mastery and ascension, so that we may be their boots on the ground in action, wisdom and courageous action, be light in grace. IsisChannelings.wordpress.com. And from Divine Sister of the Light, Elizabeth Peru, Comet Neowise will be back in 6,800 years and accelerated happenings. Have you noticed that over the past 24 hours that life has seemingly sped up? You're jumping from one task to the next, and it may seem difficult to center yourself. Not only is Comet Neowise at its closest to Earth in 6,800 years, but there's been a huge heart chakra expansion since Wednesday. Have you felt it? This is grand news because it means that thousands of people are growing in soul awareness right now, and therefore over the coming weeks will be adding to the multiplying numbers of awakened souls on our planet. With the great heart expansion that has taken place this week, you could be finding that your heart is fluttering, your energy field is increasing in capacity, soul's presence is deepening. This expansion can be unsettling and can result in broken, light sleep, or even concern. This is what you can do. What I do when my heart chakra is expanding is that I'll place my hands over my heart as I go to sleep. Usually I wake up hours later with my hands still in place over my heart. This grounds me and instantly settles fluttering. It's like a hug and hello to soul. Try it and let us know how it works for you too. I love you. I feel you. From ElizabethPeru.com. And today from the Gene Keys, Unlocking the Higher Purpose Hidden in Your DNA by Richard Rudd. From July 24th through July 29th, 2020. Gene Key 31. Arrogance, leadership, humility. Courage is a key quality of leadership. Not the courage to run headlong at the enemy or do something externally impressive. It's the inner courage to stay absolutely centered in our own truth, in the truth of our heart, even when others may not understand and may project all kinds of things onto us. It's all about standing firm in our own self-love. This 31st Gene Key is about learning humility. It's about learning to fall with grace. That's what makes a good leader, at least in my eyes. I'm not so impressed by the impeccable saint. I'm more impressed by the fallen saint who picks herself up after they've fallen and still keeps their heart open. These are the leaders, those who can fall and lift themselves back up again. That takes a special kind of strength. It's the path of a true human being. Excerpt from the 64 Ways. And from the Yi Ching, Code 31, Influence. Sacred lake atop the mountain peak, receiving the wisdom of the highest good to influence the world below. Humility is the bliss of stillness. Leadership is the vitality of restraint. Arrogance is the dissatisfaction of stress. Elation of appreciation. The superior man frees his mind of preoccupation so that he is open to the influence of others. The true leaders, at least the new leaders, are forged by life. This isn't something we decide. It's something that's thrust upon us. It's something that our Dharma decides long before we become an adult. From GeneKeys.com. Today from the Archangelic Calendar. Gaia is in a water setting, and this usually indicates that she has initiated a long-term change. We do not see her motion showing anything of the sort, but we can only assume that it's related to the large portal that we created in yesterday's assignments. As accurate as this may be, we will hold our judgment until we see the specific signs that we are looking for. If everything is a blur, it is because time is going faster than perception. This is a consequence of not being on the same earth anymore. The only reason why we are playing out this holographic drama is to avoid mass manic episodes related to acute change. Therefore, as a collective, we have chosen to gradually walk ourselves into this paradigm and not dive headfirst. Some beings are having an issue adjusting to a 36-hour day because day and night control their perception. If you live near the magnetic poles, the light of the day would not dictate your ebb and flow. You would only be limited by how you choose to perceive your reality. In all fairness, those having this issue have no idea that the archangelic calendar even exists, and thus do not have this distinct advantage. Organized darkness has fallen hard, and has become very desperate. It's like they know that the ship is sinking, and they are hitting every button on the bridge, hoping that one will save them. The CCP weaponry is not working correctly, and thus its long-range capabilities are inaccurate at best, but it is still working locally. The weather attacks on their neighbors are all about all they can do. It's up to the local lightworkers to stop these weather attacks. This falls into the category of why we need a strong local presence in conjunction with a strong macro presence. The technique to stop these extreme weather patterns comes directly from the chakra portal zones in the palms of your hands. The first time I successfully used the hand chakras to accomplish this was when I discouraged a thunderstorm because I noticed a gentleman in a wheelchair getting drenched and could not help him in any other way. I was very young and distraught at a universe where this would happen, which then emphatically ended the storm. The lesson I took away from this is when your emotions are very high, you become your most potent. You have to really mean what you are doing to be effective. Merely aiming at them with intention won't do it. It must be summoned from the depths of your emotional soul. Keep in mind that these writings are a group effort, and they are only here to keep us on the same page. We are merely organizing our energy, reconnecting with the higher parts of ourselves, and learning how to use our abilities in an organized way. The reason why it resonates so hard is that a specific aspect of yourself is directly responsible for the information presented to you here. The unification of all people is not as far from our grasp as it may seem. The masses would be more than willing to accept this if the circumstances and leadership were correct. They have one specific person that they have in mind for this position, and that person is more willing to do it. It is not common knowledge that this is even an option, but it will reveal itself as such rather quickly. You must listen very carefully to the silence. There is a backdrop of communication. Start to tune into this network at all times. I have been getting a plethora of personal path questions, and I understand the curiosity, but please do not look to validate my truth, as it may distract us from our goal. Clearly, I do not wish to be your teacher. I want you to find the one within. I do not want anything to take away from your personal accomplishments. If you're ever lost, it is my job to point you back inside, not to put you under my wing and take you to safety. Life is entirely perspective, and thus you must draw your own methods firsthand, even if it is hard to do so. The validation you seek is between you and your link to infinitely expanding Creator Source. No one else can assume to be as great of a mentor. Do not make the best of your life, make the most of it. Purpose is the driving force of our lives. We can accomplish amazing things when we set our sights on it. The tools for today's assignments are in the link in the description below. The assignments for today are, after battling back and forth with this, the CCP blew up their dams. The reason why this was such a debate is that this is the self-destruct button of organized darkness and a signal to the rest of their troops to activate a self-destruct plan. To be noted, they paid no mind to the thousands of lives lost. On a global scale, it would be very wise to stop this malevolent faction before they hit any more self-destruct buttons. We are going to engulf the entirety of Asia with an orange flame of reveal for a 72 count. If their neighboring countries do not take this threat more seriously, the level of planetary sabotage will only increase. Follow the orange flame of Asia with its same intensity for the entire planet, then light up the earth with rainbow light for a 72 count. The children of Earth are in a much better position than they were a few months ago, but we have yet to free all of them from bondage. There is a dark gray chain connecting the Vatican catacombs to various sites throughout the earth. Follow them and release the souls attached to this malevolent shrine. This was created in the 3D year of 1236 AD by the very troublesome 1873 time-traveling crew who are petrified of our legions. If you encounter the 1873 squad, it is best to send them back to Source with a portal addressed as such. If they give you any issue, go at them with sword and shield, but they should just run into the gateway when you yell at them. Keep your eyes on Poland because there is more than one threat in the area at the moment, the most significant being that this is the source of the malevolent portals that we are being attacked with. This energy is known on the higher dimension, and it gave everyone up there a run for the money. This will not be the case for us, and we will easily be able to handle this squid-looking being and the portal feed that he is protecting. The reason why we are so much more potent than the non-physical in these scenarios is because of our firm cognition in the physical reality. This grounds our efforts in the dense material world, as opposed to the very indirect efforts of the non-physical. This makes all other dimensions vulnerable to our metaphysical efforts, and they are well aware of this fact. Take out Squidward with sword and shield. Once he has been defeated, close the portal with a thick rainbow thread, then weld it shut with an intense platinum flame. Please keep an eye out for each other while you are engaging in this assignment. Comet Neowise is at the closest point to Earth that it is going to be, and this is a unique opportunity to amplify our light. Blast the beautiful comet with rainbow light from your human perspective for at least a 72 count. This will reflect and amplify this light. You are free to use any light combinations you wish, but if you are limited on time, rainbow light encompasses all spectrums. Brief debriefing. We have achieved complete success on the 6th-dimensional and 4th-dimensional removal of malevolent beings. We are entering the portal that we created as we speak. Archangel Elyon is still showing off. From the archangelicalendar.com, 1515 coming in, 6-6 portal. Today from the Nyingma Masters of Tibetan Buddhism. In the universal womb that is boundless space, all forms of matter and energy occur as flux of the 4 elements, but all are empty forms lacking inherent existence. Longchenpa. Today from the Zolkin Times, Kin 117, Red Cosmic Earth. Cosmic is the name for the number 13, and its keywords are transcend, endure, and presence. This is the final day of the Red Serpent wave spell, and as always, the last day sums up the journey that began on day 1. We have arrived at our destination. Contemplate the lessons learned this last 13 days. We must endure to transcend, meaning we must strive for what is important. It doesn't just land in your lap. Today is Red Earth, which represents evolution, synchronicity, and navigation. So what are we striving for? Evolution. The point of the Red Serpent wave spell is to shed our old skins and emerge renewed. That was the agenda all along. A perfect ending to a 13-day journey, which really tested our patience and strength. If you wish to evolve, you must put in the hard work, is the message here. Today is not easy, but potentially very progressive. The guide today is the Red Dragon, the nurturer of the Zolkin. When in the guiding position, the dragon is leading to rebirth through nurturing. This is the perfect guide for today's energies, so take good care of yourself through this birthing process. Your transformation will be much easier if you are kind and gentle to yourself. After all, transcending is a struggle. Imagine a butterfly fighting its way out of a cocoon. Today from Divine Sister of the Light, Christina Papagiorgio, Red Cosmic Earth, Kin 117, 24 July 2020, birthing the new evolutionary cycle. 24/7/2020 equal 24/7/22 equal 6/7/4 equal 6/11 equal 8. 24 charisma, magnetism, support. 6 heaven, Christ, harmony, family. 7 magic, mystic, spiritual solitude. 11 gate, portal, polarity. 8, infinity, abundance, flow. Kin 117 equal 9, destiny, service, compassion, humanity, grace. A very beautiful heaven on earthly code today, marking the completion of the red serpent wave spell. Hip hip hooray, we made it through one of the toughest cycles of the serpent ever. Today also marks the conclusion of our 13th moon, the cosmic turtle moon, and the completion of the year of the white magnetic wizard. On July 25th, 2020, we experienced the twilight zone as we enter no time, as we join together with our kinfolk to celebrate DOOT, or the Day Out of Time, a day that is a bridge between each year and the 13-moon calendar, leading us into the new year on July 26, 2020, as we commence the transformational year of the blue lunar storm. Day 13 in the red serpent wave spell of survival instinct, kundalini rising, life force, passion, and rapid transformation through shedding our old skin. Today we complete our baptism of fire with Chikchan and shed our old skins, transcending our survival and scarcity wounding, ready to rebirth ourselves. Renewal and regeneration is the order of the day, expanding our kundalini through our crown and our soul star chakras, bursting out to the cosmos. Tone of creation. Cosmic is the last and final tone of creation, the highest octave. Tone 13 operates in the spiritual realm. 13 is the mystical number of the cosmic order, the goddess and synchronic natural time. Cosmic action transcends, power endures, essence presence. Thus today you have incredible spiritual power at your disposal to transcend all those old patterns and transform them by your pure presence through your kundalini rising, attaining cosmic consciousness. We have arrived. Add some. I am here. This is the stage of having transcended the physical, emotional, and mental realms and arriving at cosmic consciousness. We are now living the prophecies, and will look to ourselves through our new higher consciousness for the signs to navigate forward and create the new prophecies of our golden era, and what grand stories we have to tell our grandchildren and their children in the bountiful years to come as we transcend this old, crumbling world. Feel yourself in synchronic flow with the cycles and timing of the natural world. Allow the breath of spirit to course through your body, becoming divine conduits, the living reeds and conduits for spiritual evolution, experiencing the flow of kundalini expansion through our pure presence, transforming us into our greater divine selves, uniting together and co-creating beauty, peace, and harmony to seed Nova Terra Gaia. The completion of the shamanic serpent cycle is the culmination of our healing journey through the upsurgence of our kundalini awakening and revitalizing our life force and vitality. Our childlike nature is drawn to the magic of what we can accomplish today. Feel the power of spirit coursing through our veins and allow nature to soothe our soul, healing our depleted, techno-stressed bodies. Red Serpent has gifted us with the tremendous purging and balancing of our chakras, through which we can now ascend to higher levels of expansion through our purified vessels, open to the flow of chi that meanders majestically through the rivers, mountains, and woods of the natural world to accomplish great healing today. As our chakras have been cleared, so too has Mother Gaia's, as we are one, the microcosm and the macrocosm. We celebrate Mother Gaia's accomplishments in clearing and balancing her earth grids and meridians throughout this red serpent wave spell as the rainbow serpent and feathered serpents have fully awakened and risen, commencing their planetary dance in readiness for this cosmic explosion of their union. So, beloveds, the divine day to listen deeply to our Pachamama, our Earth Mother, and respond to the urge to birth the new highest potentials for her and all of consciousness. We are indeed here in presence with her, fully witnessing and co-creating the new reality, ready to fly, swim, sing our way into heaven, birthing here now on earth. Today's question is, am I ready to transcend the old earth paradigm and birth a new higher consciousness in this new evolutionary cycle? We bid adieu to Red Serpent, who challenged us to evolve through raising our kundalini, clearing our channel, and aligning with the cosmos. Chikchan uncovered our deepest, darkest survival fears, stirring up our passion, our life force, and gave us much-needed wisdom and vitality. We have transcended our old 3D bodies, having energetically shed our old selves. We have activated and encoded our DNA and upgraded our cellular gold print. We are now ready to set forth on the next chapter of our journey. Tomorrow we commence a brand new revealing wave spell with Etznab, taking us into the Hall of Mirrors as we journey into uncovering our authentic selves in the magical dream spell. Divine blessings for the transcendence of the old, outdated, and outmoded you, and birthing the new, shiny, cosmic you. In Lakek Alakin, Christina White, Magnetic World Bridger, Kin 66. Kin 117, Red Cosmic Earth. The mantra, the code for today is, I endure in order to evolve. Transcending synchronicity, I seal the matrix of navigation. With the cosmic tone of presence, I am guided by the power of birth. And as we birth and manifest these new, deeper codes, deeper feelings, deeper heart activations and openings, please let us know, beloved ones, in the comments below what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, what you're seeing, your visions, your dreams, synchronicities, and activations. I appreciate you all for sharing your great beauty, connections, and stories in the comments, for connecting with myself and our team, and for shining your glorious lights into this realm for this great ascension, this great awakening. All of you are the reason myself and my team, my Venusian family, came to this realm for the love of the children, for the love of all humanity and all sentient beings. Before we get further into this, well, tapping into these deeper feelings that are coming through with the connections that have transpired over the last few days. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click the subscribe button below and the little bell next to subscribe. And as always, we have a link in the description below to the transcriptions of today's transmissions. We archive these on our website, primedisclosure.com. I'd like to also thank everyone for your support and pledges on Patreon. You can make a pledge if you'd like to support myself and our mission with Prime Disclosure on patreon.com/Prime Disclosure. I'd like to thank Divine Sister of the Light, Kathleen, for your donation. That is very kind. Appreciate your support. Now we'll finish this transmission today with a couple stories, a couple activations that happen through these heart opening, heart expansions, connecting to some of the deepest parts of our infinite multidimensional self. I'll try to be as congruent as I can and clear. It's not easy with all these fiery energies and all these timeline activations, but we'll do our best here. Now last night, after a day of many activations, with my reconnection that I've known all my life of my Venusian family and my Elven Queen and the Elven children, that it's tapped into the deepest part of my heart center. And with these activations coming in last night, with these waves flowing in one after another, there was a moment where I was pulled deep into Gaia, into the love of the Mother and the Queen, the Divine Goddess, as my heart was beating out my chest, and I was on my hands and knees, face in the dirt. Actually, my face was in the grass, the wet grass, Pachamama. These massive waves coming in, and this feeling, one word we can use is this pure, vulnerable, loving essence. And as these feelings came in, I felt this massive energy tearing through my spine, my back, as the angelic wings were forming. And these were ethereal wings, which all of you are also manifesting and activating. And as my spine and back was cracking and popping and twisting and turning, with these powerful energies. And don't worry, sacred ones. I am Taurian, born in the year of the ox, so I have to do everything the hard way. Nothing comes easy for me, but don't worry. I take the difficult route so you all don't have to. And just to let you know that as these energies flow in and we anchor them deep into the grid, in these moments we become the witness or the observer, or sometimes the witness of the witness. But as I was witnessing my body on the ground, sometimes we see these as an out-of-body type experience. These are connecting us to our bliss energies, so we do our best to stay out of fear. I know in the times when these intense energies come in and very uncomfortable, that sometimes the best we can do is just to get through. That's why in the Zen Buddhists we say go through and through and through till you totally break through. So as I became the witness and seeing my body, of course I always think weird things, like or my neighbors, it's 1 a.m, these crazy lights above, and these people see me with my face in the dirt. I'm thinking, are these people going to think I'm transforming into a werewolf? You can't make this shift up, Hey, but after all, none of my business, we do what we got to do to make this thing happen. And I know I make light of things when they seem totally intense and insane, but sometimes the greatest solution, the greatest power is laughter and the joy when we don't take ourselves too seriously. But as we go through some of these great challenges, these activations through our nervous system that manifest in many powerful ways, such as anxiety attacks, panic attack kind of things. But that's your nervous system resonating at a higher frequency. It's the same frequency as excitement, but in a negative connotation or a negative perspective. So part of the challenge is to convert the negative thinking to positive thinking or joyful thinking, or at the best, feeling of love, the love you have for yourself, your journey, your higher power, source creator, our pure awareness. And now I'll tell a quick story about a journey that I had to go to a sacred portal I've been going to for many years. It's always been a place of that twilight zone energy, being in between worlds. Many strange things have happened there over the years. But with these intense waves and these deep heart activations, she was calling, Gaia was calling for me to go on this journey, and I have to walk barefoot on the earth in these days. 96 coming in, which is the 15 energy again, and the 6. As I started upon this journey through this big field into the woods, there were 2 women standing there with this little angel, German Shepherd. So I greet them and say, hello, how are you? And I say, cute doggy, and they laugh and say hello, and the dog turns and looks at me, and I say, aho, and he kind of turns his head, and they just kind of laughed, and I went upon my merry little way. And of course I think, people probably think I'm on drugs, It's like, I don't drink, I don't smoke. What do? I breathe in the heavenly prana, the oxygen, and drink the sacred waters, and tea is our medicine in Taoism. I don't need anything else. Gaia provides everything I need. So as I'm walking, speaking to the trees and the flowers and the great beauty that surrounds us, I step onto something that felt like a pin through my foot. And I looked down, and strangely enough, it looked like in my foot, see, now I'm jumping timelines, was a stinger from a bee. And I yank it out of my foot, and I look, there's no bee. And you would see the humor in this, knowing that many people calling me Father Nature. I've spent many hours playing with the bees and the hornets and the wasps. And part of the story is that I haven't been stung since I was a little kid. And as a kid, as many adults lie to us and say things such as, that bee is dangerous, you're allergic to bees, these things. It brings fear into the body, and then crazy things manifest. So this happened today for a reason. Obviously, every time there's a bite, a sting, whatever, from the animal kingdom, it's medicine and a lesson. And it brought me back to when I was a little child, not sure how old, maybe 6 or something. And of course, after being programmed by the Matrix through our parents unknowingly, the false construct of the Matrix that bees are bad and you can die if you get stung, all these things, you know, that were programmed. There was a moment in my grandmother's front yard, my brother hit like a bee nest with a broom. And I was cracking up. I didn't know what was going on. And the swarm came out after me, this innocent bystander, and one landed on my knee. And I freaked out, you know, because of the fear that the Matrix put into me. And so I started swinging it, and then it stung me in the kneecap. And it was excruciating pain. I was one of the most sensitive kids in this world, most sensitive introverts this world had ever witnessed. We had to go through many trials and tribulations, so my knees swelled up. My grandmother put like salt and ice, and I'm thinking, here's, I'm a goner now, you know. And it was excruciating pain for hours. So it wasn't until years later that I realized that most things adults say are lies. You know, I was probably, 12, 13 years old by the time I realized that. Then I had to form my own perception of this reality, and then obviously training with many masters and teachers and shamans and healers and sages. I was able to navigate this chaos of the world, which the divine goddess yesterday helped to cause a pause for a point of healing in the stillness of the now through this intense power. So it was years later that I fell in love with the bee kingdom and the bee nation when they healed me. When I was going through probably my 500th dark night of the soul, I went through thousands in this timeline, of course, to be able to deal with these final missions and intensity and insanity of the world. When I was at this precipice, ready to jump, to end it all, this beautiful bee flew up. I was probably about 17, after multiple heartbreaks and different things that were going on. Falling into deep depression, this bee flew up to me and with its little wings lightly brushed on my lips. And I received a download from the sacred mother, Gaia, and it shifted my whole perception in that moment. From then on, I had a great appreciation. I always loved insects, little bugs and beetles and slugs and you name it, butterflies and dragonflies, but had a fear for things that stung and whatever. But after that, it healed that fear, and now I enjoy it. So today, I felt more pain for the creature. I didn't see a bee, and I'm very cautious where I walk. I've walked hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of times barefoot through many fields and never got stung. So this was a very rare occurrence, which it made me laugh, actually, because I thought, Gaia, what are we doing here? I tell people every day when many people have witnessed me playing with hornets and bees and wasps, and they say, man, you're going to get stung. I say, I don't get stung, So I don't know if this was some etheric thing or because I didn't even see a bee. I looked for it and there wasn't anything there, but that throbbing pain started coming in. And so, of course, I grabbed a handful of dirt. This is lessons from my native bro stars and sisters of our native tribes that I've learned over the years from my sacred connections with them, especially the Native American of North and South America, a whole. So I took a handful of dirt and rubbed it where this pulsing pain started, and I said, thank you, Gaia, for the medicine. And it was on a point in the foot that I did go through a mild healing of something that was out of balance in my energy field, dealing with a slight nervous energy coming through, this vulnerability that's building up from this pure love. So then I stepped into, there was a pool of mud, and I used mud for healing a few days ago as I was training in martial arts and warrior training that I do almost daily, preparing for whatever is to come. I gashed my left foot open on a piece of metal. So I've been healing that for a few days and walking barefoot on the earth and putting my feet in the holy waters, the sacred waters of Gaia, and then the mud. So I had my left foot with a gash in it, my right foot. So I'm standing laughing, and as I'm standing in this mud, this precious little angel comes up to me. This little child, her mother and father were a bit in the distance, and they were yelling to her to slow down. And as she was running, she stopped right in front of me, looking up at me with these big brown eyes. She had like this rainbow kind of dress on. I said, "Hello, little angel." And she just staring at me like, "Who's this freak with the long ponytail and playing in the mud?" So the parents came up and I welcomed them. How you all doing? And they went upon their way. And within minutes, I could feel the energy of where that puncture wound was, but the pain was totally gone. And as I walked over these stones and the path leading into the woods, then I walked into the marsh with the mud as I sunk deep into the mud, going deeper into the healing, and then I found my way to the waterfall and the sacred portal. And by then, it was totally healed. So that's the power of our belief, of our perception, the power of our love for the Divine Mother. And of course, there are wounds that go much deeper in the emotional body and the spirit and the energy body. But this is a part of the process, and this is part of the ascension, and why we call the nefarious ones, or organized darkness. That's all they have left, is to get into humans' perception, to keep us in the negative energies, the negative emotions through the separation simulation, and they do it in many different ways. And believe me, I've been duking it out with these beings since the day I came into this realm. I know them very well, whatever you want to call them, reptilians, archons. I call them psychopaths, only because it's a true issue with the psyche of that entity's consciousness, because in truth, every living thing connected to source is love energy, but it gets converted to the three hells based on illusion, ignorance, and delusions. So part of this forgiveness process is forgiving the past. That doesn't mean we allow nefarious things in the present to happen. It just means we're releasing and letting go all the things that cause suffering and that does no longer serve humanity. So there's been several things brought to my attention the last couple days that I'm going to briefly touch on and then end this so that I can edit it and upload it before 2 a.m. again. So much happening and time accelerations. Time gets away from us. So what these psychopaths are trying to do is create separation, which they've always done to keep humanity at a lower frequency. And part of the separation is through religions, through politics, through this fake race they created. There's one race, the human race, but they created this perception of different races, which originally it had to do with what region the person lived in, had nothing to do with genetics, which I could do a 5-hour lecture just on that, but we won't get into that right now due to time. So they use everything to create this division, based on color. I've told people my whole life, I'm not colorblind. I see every color, but I love every color. Every shade, every hue of humanity, of the light. And that is what we're all activating, our love for every living being, every sentient being of pure consciousness. And through this upliftment, the psychopaths disappear. They cannot exist in 5D. They cannot exist on New Earth. That energy only exists in 3D or under. Obviously, there's malevolence that reach into the 4D and 5D and above, but in that pure 5D resonance, these things will not be allowed to exist. And I know people talk about densities. It seems like things might be in contradiction, but we let go of the concepts and just go with what feels right. So there's been a big attack on lightworker community. I know it's coming through in many ways. People have been contacting me, and the angels on our team are letting me know. And, you Earth angels have been keeping me up to date on these things. I don't have time to follow what's going on, but what I tell all of you, and I know there was an attack on Michael Love and myself, but it's like, bring it on, here it is. Love has won. These things are just trying to distract and confuse. Go with what's in your heart. If someone's a true light worker, they will not attack another light worker. Obviously, unless if they're hurting children or something like this, like that John of God character. Everyone thought for years he was of the light, but when the evidence came out that he was doing very nefarious things against women and children and whatnot, that was taken care of. But many people are under attack or being attacked because of jealousy and whatever reason, apathy. So we are warriors of the light. We see through all the nonsense and just go with what's in your heart, what feels right. Because I know there's an attractive energy to these negative things, or we say the drama of the world and these conflicts. But one of our light workers contacted me saying my name might be included in this thing. So that's nothing new under the sun. You put yourself out there, people do weird things. So I just commented and said, I don't know who that person is. Truthfully, I've never spoke with or talked to Michael Love, but I joke because I said to this light worker that it's probably the same person that's spreading the rumor that I'm Michael Love. That's why I say you can't make this shift up. And someone asked me the other day, are you Michael Love? I said, I don't know. Am I? I am whatever you want me to be. If you want me to be Michael Love, if you want me to be this, that, But that's, just all in fun. Obviously, there's a human in Asheville with that name. I have no real connection. I think we might be connected on social media. But I read his messages because they resonate with many light workers, and we are resolving all conflicts anyways. That's the teachings I put out from the Buddha, from the Tao, from Lao Tzu, from Christos, Jesus Christos, that we are all love. Seek ye the kingdom of heaven within, and resolve all things in the unborn mind of Buddha, which is pure awareness. And all those things fall away. But in this dramatic world and in these final stages of nonsense and conflict and kicking the can down the road, I call it. I say these psychopaths. I'm not calling the person. I don't know this woman's intent, if it was nefarious or she thought she was on to some kind of conspiracy. And that's the problem with a lot of conspiracies. Obviously, there's thousands of them in this realm. I know of most of them, it's nothing new under the sun. But my channel, I leave those conspiracies up to people that they call red pill, like David Icke and Alex Jones and Liz Crokin. They're doing their part to at least get people to realize they're in some kind of simulated reality, some kind of matrix. The red pill, take the red pill and wake up from the matrix, the blue pill. Stay in it, from that movie. It's symbolic of even being aware that you're in some kind of trap or prison. Not that it is, that this realm is neutral, it became a negative false state through an experiment. We wanted to see what separation felt like. We, just remember, we created all this for lessons, for training, for learning, for experimentation. But it got out of control, and that's why we came. We heard the calling from Gaia, from the children, from all that suffer in this realm, and we came to take back this realm and change it into the new earth, living from our heart. So the truth. You are the truth. There's nothing to learn, ultimately. That's why I teach to go within. You go within yourself, the source of truth, in the center of your consciousness, in the pure, still, white magnetic light at the center that takes you to the great mystery, which is beyond words, beyond light, beyond sound. All these things are manifestation. Nothing wrong with them. It's not good or evil, right or wrong. Everything, energy is neutral. It doesn't pick or choose, but it is up to us to co-create together what we want this realm to be. Harmony, peace, bliss, art. That's part of the prophecy, shifting from time is money to time is art. And that's the new time, the new earth, where creativity is superior to all things. The genius within, as it's activated, to become divine creators of great beauty, great harmony, great healing and peace for all living beings. This isn't a selfish thing at all. So I'd like to thank you for coming here, making this great sacrifice. I know it hasn't been easy, beloved ones. I know all of your journeys. I feel them. I feel everything that Gaia's feeling and more as we tap into infinite timelines, infinite dimensions. So keep walking your sacred path with heart through these challenging times. And if you're fully in bliss now, congratulations. You made it. And hold that frequency, hold the tone, because now we are at these final stages of releasing, healing, purging, resolving all things for those who are not prepared, or for those that are still unconscious and asleep to what is really going on here in this simulated reality. So ultimately, don't let it get you down. It's only fake castles burning. Our true castles rise up, our crystalline castles. The ones my queen and I, my elven queen, my elven family lived on Venus, which is coming through for many now. The vision is fully activated. The goddess energy is rising up to balance out the fire. Divine water, divine fire come together to create the holy mist, the holy steam, the holistic system that is for everyone, to honor the world, to honor the earth in this great transformation and transmutation. So have a beautiful and blessed day, an amazing day out of time tomorrow as we travel in between worlds. That's connecting to the 0 point energy, or the still center, the neutral point. So if you can, get out to nature, anchor into any portals on this earth that are sacred to you. If not, just get out to the woods or out to nature. Even sitting in the grass can help anchor in these energies, because you are lighting up the grid, warriors of light, exactly where you are stationed now on Pachamama for this great activation, great ascension, great awakening. Aho. I love you all. Namaste.